The arrow was ready. My breath was steady. I crouched behind a rock, watching the campfire flicker in the dark. Down below, voices laughed, settlers who had no idea I was there. A Chiricahua Apache scout sent to end them. Then it happened. A child's cry cut through the night, sharp and small, like a knife to my heart. I froze. My chief's words echoed in my head. Take their lives, Kael. Show them we're not ghosts. But that cry, it wasn't just noise, it was a memory. My son, my wife, everything I'd lost. I was sent to kill them, but what do you do when the enemy feels more like family than foe? Would I pull the string, or would that one sound change everything? Keep watching to find out. A village tucked deep in the rugged mountains of Chiricahua Apache territory. It's the 1870s, Arizona, and the air smells of pine and smoke. I'm Kael, a scout for my people, sitting by a fire that barely warms the chill in my bones. Across from me is Dowan, our chief. His face is hard, carved with scars, and his eyes look like they've seen too much. He leans forward, voice low and heavy. The settlers did it again, he says. They burned our hunting ground, turned it to ash just to build their fort. I nod, feeling the weight of his words. The land isn't just dirt to us, it's our soul, our heartbeat, and the white men keep tearing it away. Dowan locks eyes with me. They take our food, our future, everything. Kael, you're my best scout. Go to their camp, leave no one alive, show them we're not ghosts fading into the wind. I don't say much, I never do. My quiet hides the pain, the memory of my wife and son taken years ago in a settler ambush. Dowan doesn't care about that. To him, mercy is weakness. To me, it's a ghost I can't shake. But I stand, grab my bow, and step into the night. The orders are clear. The fight is coming. The moon sits low in the sky, spilling silver across the desert floor. I'm Kael, a Chiricahua Apache scout, moving through the night like a shadow. My moccasins barely whisper against the sand as I close in on the settler camp. My bow is in my hands, arrow notched, string pulled tight. Dowan's voice rings in my ears, sharp and cold. Leave no one alive. I've done this before. I know the steps. Watch, aim, release, then walk away. The camp comes into view, a faint glow against the dark. I crouch low, eyes narrowing as I count them. Just 3. A small fire sputters, throwing light on their faces. There's a woman, Mara, stirring a pot of watery soup with a wooden spoon. Her face is tired, etched with lines that tell a story of hard days. She's not young, but there's a strength in her, a quiet fire that keeps her going. Beside her are 2 kids. Jessa, maybe 10, sits cross-legged, her sharp eyes scanning the darkness like she senses something's out there. She's got a stick in her hand, poking at the dirt, restless. Then there's Finn, 6 years old, small and thin, kicking at the sand with bare feet. His hair's a mess, tangled from the wind. They're not soldiers. No guns, no boots, no threat. Just a family, clinging to whatever's left. I find out later Mara's husband died weeks ago, fever burning him out fast, leaving them stranded with a broken wagon and no way back. But right now, they're just shapes in the night. Targets. I edge closer, my breath slow and even, heart steady as stone. The wind picks up, cool against my face, tugging at the edges of my shirt. I'm close enough now to hear them. Mara hums softly, a tune I don't know, trying to keep the kids calm. Jessa mutters something about being hungry, her voice low and sharp. Finn doesn't say much, just watches the fire with big round eyes. I lift my bow, lining up the shot. 1 for Mara, quick through the chest. 2 more for the kids, fast so they don't suffer. That's how it's done. That's what Dowan wants. Show them we're not ghosts. My fingers tighten on the string. The world narrows to this moment, this choice. Then it happens. Finn moves, shuffling closer to the fire, and his foot catches a rock. He trips, falls hard, and lets out a cry, loud and raw. It cuts through the quiet like a blade. He lands on his knees, clutching a little wooden toy horse, rough and uneven, something his father must have carved before the fever took him. The toy slips from his hands, rolling into the dirt. Mara drops the spoon, the soup forgotten, and rushes to him. She kneels fast, pulling him into her arms. We're okay, little one. I'm here, she whispers, her voice soft but firm like a promise. She brushes the sand from his face, holds him tight as he sniffles. Jessa scoots closer, watching her brother with a frown, but she doesn't say anything. The fire crackles, throwing shadows across them. My hand shakes. The bowstring bites into my fingers, but I can't let go. That cry, it's not just a sound, it's a memory, slamming into me hard. Finn's small body, his wide, scared eyes, they're the same as my son's. My boy, gone too long, taken by settlers in an ambush that left me with nothing but ghosts. And Mara's words, the way she soothes him, they're my wife's voice, clear as if she's standing beside me. I see her in Mara's bent shoulders, hear her in that gentle whisper. My chest tightens, breath catching in my throat. I try to shake it off, to focus, to remember Dowan's orders. But it's no use. The past is alive, staring back at me through this little family. My people say the wind carries the voices of the dead. That night, it carried mine. I see my son in Finn, clutching that toy like it's all he has left. I see my wife in Mara, holding on when everything's falling apart. My arm drops, the arrow still unshot. Dowan would call this weakness. Maybe it is, but I can't do it. Not tonight. Something's shifting inside me, and I don't know where it's leading. All I know is I'm still watching, still listening, as the fire crackles and the wind howls through the dark. The fire's glow dances across their faces, and I stand there, bow still in my hand, arrow still notched but useless now. My heart pounds, loud in my ears, drowning out the wind. I can't do it. I can't take their lives. Not Mara's, not Jessa's, not Finn's. The weight of that choice settles on me like a stone, heavy but sure. I let the bowstring ease, the tension slipping away, and lower my arms. No more hiding. I step out of the shadows, my feet crunching on the dry sand. The firelight catches me, and Mara's head snaps up. Her eyes go wide, fear flashing in them like a spark. She scrambles to her feet, grabbing a rusty knife from beside the pot. It's old, chipped, barely sharp, but she holds it out anyway, stepping in front of her kids. "Stay back," she shouts, her voice shaking but fierce. Jessa pulls Finn close, his little toy horse pressed tight against his chest. They stare at me, 3 pairs of eyes locked on the stranger in the dark. I stop, hands empty, and raise them slow, palms out. "I'm not here to hurt you," I say, my voice low, steady, cutting through the crackle of the fire. Not anymore. Mara doesn't move, doesn't lower the knife. Her breath comes fast, her knuckles white around the handle. She doesn't trust me, and why should she? I'm Apache, Chiricahua, one of the shadows she's probably feared since the day she rolled that wagon into this land. I can see it in her face, the questions racing through her mind. Is this a trick? Is he alone? What does he want? I don't blame her. I'd do the same if I were her, standing between my family and a threat. But I'm not a threat anymore. Something's changed, and I can't undo it. I take a breath, the cool night air filling my lungs, and speak again. "You're not safe here. My people are coming. A war party sent by my chief Dowan. He told me to kill you, and when I don't, others will finish it." Mara's grip on the knife falters, just for a second, her eyes narrow, searching mine, trying to find the lie. "Why tell us this?" she asks, her voice sharp now, cutting through the quiet. "Why not just do it?" I don't answer right away. The truth is heavy, tangled up in memories I don't want to touch. Finn shifts behind her, peeking out from Jessa's arm. He tugs at Mara's sleeve, his small voice barely a whisper. "He looks sad, Mama, like us." I feel those words hit me, soft but deep, like a stone dropped in still water. Finn's big eyes meet mine, and there's no fear there, just something pure, something that sees past the bow, past the scars. Mara glances down at him, then back at me, and I can tell she's caught, torn between her instincts and his words. I lower my hands, slow and careful, letting them rest at my sides. "I can get you out," I say. "There's a canyon hidden, not far from here. I know the way. They won't find you there." The air feels thick now, heavy with the weight of what I'm offering. Mara doesn't move, doesn't speak, just stares at me like she's trying to see into my soul. Jessa pipes up, her voice sharp and bold. "How do we know you won't lead us into a trap?" She's smart, this one, already thinking steps ahead. I meet her gaze, steady and sure. "You don't," I say. "You've got no reason to trust me, but if I wanted you dead, you'd already be gone. That hangs between us, raw and true." Mara's shoulders slump just a little, the knife dipping but not dropping. She looks at her kids, at Finn's wide eyes, at Jessa's clenched fists, and I can see her weighing it all. Stay and die, or follow a stranger and maybe live. The fire pops, sending a shower of sparks into the night, and she finally nods just once, quick and firm. "All right," she says, "but I'm keeping this." She lifts the knife a little, a warning. I don't argue. Fair enough. I turn, glancing back at the dark beyond the camp, listening for the sound of hoofbeats, of drums, of anything that says Dowan's warriors are close. Nothing yet, but they're coming. I know it. One step toward them was a step away from my people, from everything I've ever known. But I walked anyway. I motioned to Mara, quick and quiet. Grab what you can. We move now. She hesitates, then starts gathering their things. A blanket, a small sack, the pot still warm from the fire. Jessa helps, shoving stuff into Finn's arms, who clutches his toy horse like it's his lifeline. I wait, watching them, feeling the pull of two worlds tearing at me. This isn't just sparing them. This is risking everything, my place, my honor, my life. But Finn's cry still echoes in my head, and Mara's voice won't let me go. I've made my choice. Now I have to see it through. The desert stretches out before us, endless and harsh, as I lead Mara, Jessa, and Finn away from their camp. The sun climbs high, turning the sand into a blazing sea of heat. Sweat beads on my forehead, trickling down my neck, but I keep moving, eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of trouble. Mara walks behind me, her steps heavy, the small sack of their belongings slung over her shoulder. Jessa stays close to her, clutching a blanket, while Finn stumbles along, his little legs struggling to keep up. The air is dry, thick with dust, and our water skin is already half empty. I can feel it in my bones, the weight of this journey. Rattlesnakes hide in the rocks, thirst gnaws at us, and somewhere out there, the faint thud of Apache drums echoes through the wind. Dowan's warriors are hunting, and I know they won't stop. Not for me, not for them. But I keep us moving, cutting through the scrub and stone, toward the hidden canyon I promised. We stop near a patch of scraggly bushes, the sun beating down without mercy. I kneel, motioning Jessa over. She hesitates, then steps closer, her sharp eyes watching me like a hawk. I point to a small plant, its leaves tough and green despite the heat. This one's good, I say. You can eat it. The earth provides if you listen. She squats beside me, brushing her fingers over the leaves, curious but cautious. How do you know? She asks, her voice bold, testing me. I pull one free, chew it slow, the bitter taste filling my mouth. My people live here, I say. We learn, or we die. She nods like that makes sense and picks a leaf for herself, popping it in her mouth. Her face scrunches up at first, then smooths out. Not bad, she says, and I catch the faintest grin. From then on, she starts calling me the quiet man, tossing it out whenever I don't answer her questions fast enough. It sticks, and I don't mind. It's the first time I feel something like a thread tying us together. Finn's next. We're walking again, the sand sucking at our feet. When he trips, his toy horse tumbling from his hands, it lands in the dirt, that rough little carving, and he freezes, staring at it like it's all he has left in the world. I step back, pick it up, dusting it off with my fingers. The wood's worn smooth in places, loved, carried for a long time. I hand it to him, and his small fingers wrap around it tight. My boy had one like this, I say, the words slipping out before I can stop them. Finn looks up, big eyes shining in the sunlight. Did he lose his too? He asks, soft and serious. I swallow hard, the memory sharp as a blade. No, I say. He lost me. Finn doesn't say anything, just holds the horse closer. But when he falls in step beside me, he stays near, like he's decided I'm not so strange. I catch a rare smile tugging at my lips, small and fleeting, but real. Mara sees it too, and her shoulders ease just a little. Later, we rest under a jutting rock, the shade a thin shield against the heat. Mara sits across from me, Finn curled up against her, Jessa chewing another leaf nearby. The water skin passes between us, each sip careful, measured. Mara's been quiet, watching me, and now she speaks. What about your family? She asks, her voice gentle but firm, like she's been waiting to know. I look at the ground, tracing lines in the sand with my finger. They're gone, I say. Settlers took them. An ambush, years ago. My wife, my son, just a little older than Finn. I hated your kind for it. Maybe I still do, but not you. The words hang there raw and heavy, and I don't look up. I don't want to see pity in her eyes. But when she speaks again, it's not pity, it's understanding. I lost mine too, she says. Fever took him, left us out here. We're not so different, you and me. I lift my head then, meeting her gaze, and something shifts. Not trust, not yet, but a crack in the wall between us. The sun dips lower, painting the sky orange, and I stand, checking the path ahead. Jessa's beside me, pointing at another plant, asking if it's good too. Finn clutches his horse, sticking close. Mara follows, steady now like she's starting to believe we might make it. I think of my people, the Chiricahua way, and I say it out loud, quiet but clear. Every life is a thread in the great weave. Cut one and the pattern breaks. Jessa tilts her head, thinking it over. So we're threads? She asks. I nod. All of us. Mara looks at me, her eyes softer now, and Finn reaches up, slipping his small hand into mine for just a moment before letting go. The drums are still out there, faint but real, and the canyon's close. We're not safe yet, but we're not strangers anymore. This journey's changing us, tying us together, and I can't turn back now. We reach the canyon just as the sun dips below the horizon, painting the rocks red and gold. It's a narrow slit in the earth, walls rising high on both sides, a hidden refuge I've known since I was a boy. A thin spring trickles from the stone, barely a whisper of water, but enough to keep us alive. I lead Mara, Jessa, and Finn inside, the air cool against our sunburned skin. The desert's heat fades behind us, replaced by the damp smell of rock and earth. I feel a flicker of hope, small but real. We've made it this far. Mara sets down the sack, her hands trembling from the long walk, and Jessa helps Finn sit by the spring, splashing water on his dusty face. He giggles, clutching his toy horse, and for a moment it's quiet, peaceful. I let myself breathe, thinking maybe, just maybe, we've slipped out of Dowan's reach. But then I hear it. Hoofbeats. Distant at first, like a low rumble, then louder, sharper, pounding through the sand. My stomach drops. They've tracked us. Dowan's warriors are here. I turn to Mara, fast and urgent. Hide, I say. Take the kids. Get behind those rocks. She freezes, eyes wide, but nods quick, grabbing Finn's hand. Jessa follows, pulling the blanket over their shoulders as they duck into a shadowed crevice. I point to the spring, my voice low. If I don't come back, follow the water west. It'll lead you out. Mara's face tightens, fear mixing with something else, trust maybe, or hope. She doesn't argue, just whispers to the kids to stay quiet, her rusty knife still gripped tight. I step to the canyon's mouth, peering out. The hoofbeats stop, replaced by the crunch of boots on sand. Shadows move in the dusk, 5 of them, maybe 6. Then I see him, Dowan. His broad frame stands out, his war club swinging at his side, his scarred face lit by the fading light. He's come himself, not trusting anyone else to finish this. My chest tightens. There's no running now. Dowan steps forward, his warriors fanning out behind him, blocking the canyon's entrance. His eyes lock on mine, hard and cold, like I'm a stranger, not the scout he raised up. You chose them over us, he says, his voice a growl that echoes off the rocks. You're no Apache. The words cut deep, sharper than any blade, but I stand tall, my bow in one hand, knife in the other. I chose life over death, I say, steady and firm. That's what we've always fought for. He laughs, short and bitter, shaking his head. You're a fool, Kael. They're nothing. Just more white blood to spill. He raises his club, signaling the others, and they move, fast and silent, closing in. I don't wait. I drop the bow, useless in this tight space, and draw my knife, lunging at the first warrior. The fight explodes, all noise and chaos, steel clashing against stone. I duck a swing, driving my knife into the side of a warrior, his grunt loud in my ear as he falls. Another comes from the left, his spear jabbing at my chest. I twist away, the tip grazing my arm, hot blood trickling down. Pain flares, but I keep moving, slamming my shoulder into him, sending him crashing against the canyon wall. My breath comes in gasps, sweat stinging my eyes. Dowan watches, waiting, letting his men wear me down. I catch a glimpse of Mara's hiding spot, the kids' small shapes huddled tight, and it fuels me. I can't let them die. Not after this. A third warrior charges, his axe high, and I roll low, slicing his leg as I pass. He stumbles, cursing, and I'm up again, facing Dowan now. He steps in, club swinging hard. I dodge, but not fast enough. It clips my shoulder, sending me sprawling into the dirt. Blood stains the sand, mine and theirs, mixing together in the dust. I push up, pain screaming through me, and Dowan looms closer, his face twisted with rage. Traitor, he spits, raising the club again. I lunge, tackling him low, my knife slashing at his side. He roars, shoving me off, and we grapple, rolling across the ground, my strength's fading, wounds slowing me, but I hold on, buying time. Behind me, I hear Mara moving, the soft shuffle of feet as she pulls the kids deeper into the canyon. Good, they're going. Dowan's fist slams into my jaw, stars bursting in my vision, but I twist, pinning his arm, driving my knee into his chest. He gasps and I break free, staggering back. The other warriors hesitate, their leader down, and I shout, hoarse and raw, Go, now! Mara doesn't look back. She grabs Jessa and Finn, disappearing along the spring's path. Dowan rises, blood dripping from his side, but I stand between him and them, knife raised. I'm not fighting for me anymore. I'm fighting for them. The canyon grows quiet, the warriors circling, unsure. Dowan glares, clutching his wound, but he doesn't charge again. My legs shake, blood pooling at my feet, and I wonder if I'll make it out. Will I survive this? And what happens to the family I've betrayed everything for? The answer's out there, with Mara and the kids running west. I've given them a chance. That's all I can do now. Dawn creeps over the canyon, soft and slow, painting the rocks with streaks of pink and gold. The air is still, heavy with the quiet that follows a storm. Mara, Jessa, and Finn stumble out of the desert, their shadows stretching long across the sand. They've followed the water west, just like I told them, and now they stand at the edge of a trading post, a cluster of wooden shacks nestled against the mountains. Smoke curls from a chimney, voices drift on the breeze, and for the first time in days, safety feels real. Mara's legs wobble as she drops to her knees, the sack slipping from her shoulder. Jessa stands tall beside her, scanning the post with those sharp eyes, while Finn clings to her side, his small hand wrapped around his toy horse. Mara pulls him close, brushing the dust from his hair, and lifts the little wooden carving to her lips. He gave us this chance, she whispers, her voice cracking, soft but steady. She doesn't cry, but her eyes shine wet in the morning light, reflecting the weight of what they've survived. They made it. The trading post buzzes with life as people step out, traders and travelers, their faces curious but kind. A woman with a weathered apron rushes over, offering water, her hands gentle as she kneels beside Finn. He takes the cup, sipping slow, his toy horse still pressed tight against his chest. Jessa stays quiet, watching, but her shoulders ease, the tension melting away. Mara stands, shaky but firm, and nods her thanks, clutching the blanket they've carried all this way. She glances back toward the desert, toward the canyon hidden beyond the horizon, and I know she's wondering about me. Did I make it out? Did I fall? She'll never know for sure, but that toy horse in her hand tells her enough. They're alive because of me, and that's a truth she'll carry, heavy but warm, like a fire on a cold night. The family's safe now, forever changed, their threads woven into something new. Back in the desert, I stagger through the sand, bloodied but breathing. The canyon's behind me, its shadows fading as the sun climbs higher. My shoulder throbs where Dowan's club hit, my arm stings from the spear's graze, and every step sends pain shooting through me. But I'm alive. The fight ended fast after Mara and the kids slipped away. Dowan stood there, clutching his side, his warriors unsure, their eyes darting between us. He didn't swing again. Maybe he saw something in me, or maybe he just didn't care anymore. He turned, barked an order, and they melted into the dusk, leaving me there, bleeding in the dirt. I didn't follow. I couldn't go back. Not to the village, not to my people, not to the life I knew. That path's gone, washed away like tracks in a storm. So I walk slow and steady into the vast emptiness, the wind tugging at my hair, cool against my skin. I find a ridge high and lonely, and sit watching the desert stretch out below. My knife's still in my hand, crusted with blood, but I set it down, letting my fingers rest. I think of Mara, Jessa, Finn, safe now, far from here. I couldn't go back, I tell myself, my voice a whisper in my head. But I didn't need to. The wind carried their voices now, not mine. I see Finn's small smile, hear Jessa calling me the quiet man, feel Mara's gaze when she said we weren't so different. They're alive because I chose them, because I walked away from everything I was. It's a strange peace, sharp and bittersweet, settling deep in my chest. I'll wander now, a lone figure in this wide land, no village to call home, no chief to answer to. But I'm not lost, not really. My people say a man's spirit lives in the lives he touches. I hope they're right. I close my eyes, letting the wind wrap around me, carrying the echoes of those I saved. Mara's whisper, Jessa's questions, Finn's giggle. They're out there building something new, and I'm here, a shadow fading into the sand. It's not a happy ending, not for me, but it's enough. They'll live, and that's the piece of me that matters.